Am I the asshole for ruining Thanksgiving? Update, Christmas, 30F, met my boyfriend, 30 meters, 3 years ago. Before me he was together with his HS sweetheart. They fell out of love and broke up. A year later we started dating. His mom, however, was still heartbroken about it. I was very understanding and thought she needed time to get to know me. The ex basically grew up with them and they saw her as a part of the family. For the first year of my relationship his mom would call me ex's name, until boyfriend got angry once and told her to be nice. She laughed it off and said it was just a habit. After that she started calling me the wrong name. Janet instead of Jenny, fictional names just for the story. I corrected her a couple of times but she seemed to like hurting me so I ignored it later. My boyfriend has 2 sisters and a couple of weeks before Thanksgiving we were invited to barbecue at the older sister's house. I was in the kitchen with my BF's mom, the sisters and one of their husbands. The older sister then talked about how my boyfriend praised my cooking to her husband and the mom was listening. She then said out loud, "Sure. Why don't we let Janet make the turkey this year?" The sisters giggled and looked at each other and I said that's a great idea. I didn't tell my boyfriend what happened. On Thanksgiving we went to his mom's house with the usual wine and dessert. She was shocked. Everybody was shocked. I said, "What? I thought Janet is bringing the turkey." There was yelling, crying and then we got kicked out. My boyfriend is so angry with me he hasn't talked to me since. I think it's over TBH. But I still don't think I did anything wrong. Did I? Thunderous applause. You're my favorite asshole for this. My absolute hero. ETA, wow. Thanks for the awards. ETA 2, I'm being asked to give judgment. I repeat, OP is my favorite asshole. Not the asshole here, so not the asshole. We have got to have some kind of flair for hero asshole. This is the kind of malicious compliance I live for. Was it petty? Sure. Not anywhere near as petty as referring to someone by the wrong name for 3 years. Not the asshole as far as I'm concerned. Once again, the limitations of the not the asshole judgment are thrown into stark relief. We desperately need a justified asshole option. Justified asshole is the judgment we need. I don't care how many times it has been shot down. Has it been? Boo, there are significant other many gem stories like this one that fit the justified asshole bill. Perhaps it's because the stories are always written by the OP and thus in a, usually, more favorable light. Yeah, the mods have constantly said that if we agree with OP, even if they're technically an we should still vote not the asshole. Lame. Edit, SH2 It's been shot down? By the mods? Simon guys, the people have spoken. It's rare and perfect to see this type of justified assholery. Yeah, the mods have constantly said that if we agree with OP, even if they're technically an we should still vote not the asshole. Lame. This sub is called Am I the Asshole Not Am I an Asshole? The distinction is that one asshole usually causes a situation. Even if the second party responds in an ollie way they aren't the because they're just matching the other person's energy. That might take at least. Yeah, I desperately need to be able to filter for these kinds of interactions when I'm bored. Yay, if this were possible, I would filter for justified asshole stories and read for hours. I literally never get tired of this trope. Justified asshole is just jury nullification, so we vote not the asshole. If you need to rationalize it further, count the as the keyword and not the asshole. They might be an asshole, but they're not the asshole. Still write not the asshole for final judgment's purposes but agreed. Justified a hole is the correct response. I'd like to point out that, per the rules, if you think someone is justified in being an asshole, the verdict to use it not the asshole. Yes, but people are arguing that that rule should change. We had several really long sticky post type discussions on this back when the sub was first starting to expand and we voted on which of the many judgments would become the official list. Lots of people made great points, but the one that made me swap my vote to no was a review of how many serious arguments people had gotten not over justified. Our opinions varied wildly and I think it was pretty difficult to monitor, and this was back when the sub was small enough that the owner would message you to notify you if you had the top comment so that you could personally keep track. I can only imagine the nightmare it would be now. I also love justified asshole, in theory, but I think it should continue to stay in ad hoc call out for now. But also, who doesn't do extra planning for this? I thought the story was going to be there were 2 turkeys. I can't imagine this sort of one-off comment and not following it up later to coordinate turkey details if OP was expected to bring it. Not a single phone call or text later to OPBF to follow up? I would have assumed they didn't actually mean for me to bring it if it came up once like this and no one mentioned again. Nope. I understood it as let's have, wrong name mom calls OP, make the turkey, which OP agreed to, and can legitimately say we agreed, wrong name, was making the turkey, but that isn't my name, and you know it. One-off comment or not, it wasn't OP's responsibility to follow up, and mom/sisters played stupid games, making their stupid prize the joy of not having turkey for Thanksgiving. That was my take on it. If the mom and sisters wanted to play stupid games, they could very well win stupid prizes. You said Janet was making the turkey, so I assumed you were inviting someone named Janet. OP needs to be retell this in our/petty revenge or our/malicious compliance with the event/discussion at the Turkeyless Fest described. Yeah, it's very weird that they actually thought she would bring a turkey. I've never been to a Thanksgiving gathering where the host didn't make the turkey, because you usually need to cook the turkey for a long time and start before the guests arrive. The guests usually bring side dishes. I'm sure there are situations where a guest brings a turkey, but I would think they would require a lot more than a one-off comment, as you said. I think this is why they giggled. They were expecting OP to do a massive amount of work to get a cooked turkey there in time. I, too, thought there were going to be 2 turkeys. And that OP was going to compliment Janet on her cooking. If they wanted Janet to bring the turkey, they should have invited her. Also, am I really the only person on Reddit who comes from a family where the food is not the most important thing in the world? So there was no turkey? Big deal, there are 5 different sides and 3 different pies for crying out loud, no one is going hungry. I get that what OP did was petty, and that the pettiness would definitely put a bit of a damper on the mother's mood. But Thanksgiving really should not have been ruined over a lack of turkey. Right? Turkey is everyone's least favorite part in my family. AITA, you're the best asshole. I like this. Motion to add this to the list of judgments. I've got you beat on 3 years. My grandpa still calls my mom the name of my dad's ex-fiancée on occasion, 30 years later. OP, you are a hero for everyone who has a monster-in-law. Yeah, that's the point, is be asking grandpa if he remembers the name of the home he's going to be shunted into. Well, my dad was subjected to a long string of short-lived stepdads when he was younger and started calling them all the same nickname. So sometimes it's justified. He literally gave up learning their names, thanks to my grandma's revolving door. Chaotic evil. You know how we have yearly Am I the Asshole awards? This has to be nominated for one of the categories. Petty, malicious compliance and hilarious all in one sentence. I'm here for this. How is it malicious compliance? If she had brought a raw turkey or some packs of sliced turkey, that would fit the compliance side of malicious compliance. This seems more malicious indifference. I thought Janet was bringing a turkey. It's malicious compliance because Janet is still absolutely on the hook for bringing the turkey. OP isn't Janet, she's Jenny. Ergo, OP has zero obligation to bring turkey of any description. The compliance part, for me, is that despite OP recognizing the fact that boyfriend mom actually means OP, she decided to let Janet bring the turkey. As requested. I'm so sad I have no award for OP, this is absolutely outstanding. And OP, if it is over, you're 100% better off. Don't be with someone who lets his family steamroll you for 3 years just because they're hung up on an ex. Not to mention OP being out of the picture won't bring the ex back. OP is absolutely dodging a bullet because this family is toxic AF if they'll treat someone that way. Seriously. Why are y'all mad at me? Where's Janet? I thought she was bringing the turkey? If they wanted a Janet to bring the turkey, they should have invited a Janet and asked her to bring a turkey. Not the asshole, OP, and your boyfriend needs to draw harder lines. His family. He's kinda the odd two here. OP is awesome, she nailed them. Me too. I like the way you think. This boyfriend does not deserve you. Not the asshole. I'm just a little bit in love with OP for her action. Edit, oh, and, not the asshole and heroically. Not the asshole. I think it drove the point home. Your boyfriend should have been sticking up for you more, but this was a good final fuck you. Seriously, that coward. On a bright note, this is great closure, the mother will now forever remember Op. This guy is 30 years old and not just letting his family talk to OP like this, but siding with them? Long wet fart sound, hope he enjoys his loveless marriage to his childhood ex when mommy berates him back into it. Long wet fart sound, will forever be my reaction to anything that sucks from now on. Nah, that girl bounced a long time ago, she's too smart to get roped back into this shit show. I'm thinking the childhood ex broke up for a reason. Mom probably mistreated ex for a decade too, and only started acting like she liked ex better when OP came around. Maybe that's why they missed her so much, because she put up with it for 10 years before leaving. This is so spot on. OP, you deserve someone so much better than this spineless mama's boy who only stood up for you one time. Had I been him, I would laughed until I cried. Go out now and find yourself a person of true character who has your back. Happy holidays. Yeah, this is partly his fault for not putting a stop to bullshit his mom was pulling. Not the asshole. Your BF's mom is clearly trying to sabotage your relationship. Your boyfriend needs to stand up for you and put a stop to it immediately. As for the turkey, again, that's ridiculous, and they knew exactly what they were doing causing that drama. Seems like mom succeeded in destroying the relationship since OP thinks it's over. Good riddance to that relationship. Boyfriend never put a stop to the bullying to OP. He's just as bad as his mother and sisters. He needs to have told his mom. Janet and I are done. This is OP, stop calling her Janet. It's distressing that he hasn't done this in 3 years. And sister giggling at OP being called Janet. Could mean it's a family joke? Janet isn't the ex, it's the name BF's mother intentionally calls OP instead of using her correct name. I figured Janet was a pseudonym anyway. Boyfriend should have still corrected his mom. No matter who Janet is, or isn't. My boyfriend for the life of him couldn't get my last roommate's name right. Not anything remotely close either, for example kept calling her Kathy when her name was Susan. He didn't like her, but he kept swearing it wasn't intentional and, thank God, I don't think he ever did it to her face. Every time he'd do it, I'd correct him, and he couldn't explain why the other name was stuck in his head. The only reason I think it wasn't malicious is that he also did the same damn thing to her cat, and I know he liked the cat. This isn't even remotely close to excusable, this is a malicious renaming as a power move. This reminds me, my manager's supervisor calls her by the wrong version of her name. In front of everyone, mispronounced. All the time. I worked at MCDS. There was a manager named Kelly and I was Kelly. I wrote down my schedule out of the book and went home. On my day off, I get a call asking where I am. I said I don't work today. Yes you do, you are going to get a write-up. I said whatever, see you TMW. I came in. Look at the schedule and show the manager, see, I am not on the schedule. He said Kelly. Right there. I tell that is the other girl's name. Her schedule is in the manager book, not this book, you should have known. I also pointed out how my name was spelled properly everywhere else and he still tried to write me up. The big manager wouldn't let him. They never spelled it wrong again. I'm 61 and an English teacher. Regarding professionalism, manners, and language use, you're 100% in the right. Good for you. I had a boyfriend who let his best friend call me by the previous girlfriend's name on many occasions. Hey Emily. Do you? Thanks, Emily. Friend's wife was pissed, my boyfriend would laugh and say, oh, but not cool, Mike, insert more laughing, friend would laugh, but not me. I was grinning and bearing it to be a respectful house guest. The next time we were with them and I was called Emily, I just pretended not to hear Mike. Obviously he wasn't talking to my name, so he may as well have been talking to an imaginary friend. He got so flustered that he began snapping his fingers in my face and calling, Emily. A mother-in-law. I'm talking to you. And I just looked at him like, who's Emily? Never happened again. There's a story doing the rounds about a trans guy whose older sibling got sick of their parents calling him by his old name all the time when he'd been out for several years, so brought an air horn to Thanksgiving and sounded it every time one of them did it. Apparently it was effective. Sometimes you just have to make them feel weird instead of sitting in the weird yourself. This is my actual strategy for these types of situations. Like hell I'm gonna sit in this awkwardness alone. I'm bringing you all with me. Someone snapping their fingers at me like that would lose them. Exactly. Snapping your fingers in someone's face is a good way to get them snapped for you. Exactly. She's in Am I the Asshole now, but in a few years she would be in Just No Mill asking if she was crazy for having reasonable boundaries. The significant other would be saying, "That's just how my mom is." Seriously. My name is somewhat unusual, and my now husband's dad just could not pronounce it right for a solid few months. Every single time he said it, even just in conversation with my husband, without me present, my husband would correct him. And that was my father-in-law not intentionally trying to hurt me, just not really being used to making those sounds. OP's ex-boyfriend is a real dud. He's gonna sit and watch in bemused befuddlement as his mother manages to drive a wedge between him and every girlfriend who isn't his ex and wonder why he can't seem to make a relationship stick. Mom was an alright, but if the OP's boyfriend is furious with her over this, then he's one too. Oh, and having, at my own request, cooked Thanksgiving turkeys since I was 15, I'm now 71, I find it very odd that the family would expect the OP to bring a fully cooked bird to the family's house. It can be done, of course, but it requires very close coordinating to ensure that the side dishes are ready in time to be served when they're still hot. Of all the dishes to be brought to a Thanksgiving meal, the turkey is the least practical. That was, probably, part of the reason OP was asked to do it. If OP would have cooked a turkey, no matter what the outcome, it would have been just another excuse for BF's family to ridicule OP. They didn't ask her, though, they asked Janet. You're right, though, there was no winning here. Good riddance to bad rubbish. Relationships come and go, but OP will be walking away with a smile and a little prouder of herself. I mean, we can't fully blame the mother for ruining this relationship. The boyfriend also bears some weight to the relationship being ruined because he didn't put his foot down. If your partner will not stand up for you when you're being so blatantly disrespected, the relationship is ruined. She dodged a bullet, and the ex needs to think hard about his toxic family if he ever wants to get married or even have a relationship. Let me tell you, my hubby would have ripped his folks a new one and high-fived me on the way out. The interesting thing that boyfriend doesn't seem to realize is that this kind of behavior from his mom is going to drive away future potential partners. By getting mad at OP rather than his mom, he's basically reinforcing behavior that will harm his romantic relationships in the future. Digging his own grave. Not the asshole. This family sounds like absolute nightmare fuel. If my future partner's mother tried to alienate me any chance she got, I would have had the same reaction. There's only so much hatefulness a person can take. I genuinely feel so sorry for you and having to go through that, it must hurt a lot. Your boyfriend should have had a sit-down talk with her ages ago about boundaries and being kind to you, which shouldn't even have to happen in a relationship. I'm glad you stuck up for yourself and made her feel like an idiot because she is one. Your boyfriend should have stuck up for you anyhow, considering it's out of your hands to be respected. He tried to correct her a few times, but she gave a half-hearted apology. Now he just rolled his eyes. I have had very little interaction with his mom, for obvious reasons. Now he just rolled his eyes. So, mom's manipulative sometimes and we try to tell her to do better, but eventually she wins. Yeah, he's going to wonder why he can't ever keep a girlfriend around. I think the mother is a Sith Lord. Overbearing parents train compliant kids. Either they stay compliant or they go no contact. Sounds like OP's ex-BF chose compliant. Yup, my husband and I chose no contact. My husband didn't even realize what she was doing until I pointed it out because he was just used to it. For example, they have this huge Easter egg hunt every year, but one year he was sick, so he called to say he couldn't make it. She flipped out, and told us something like, I don't even want you to come if you're too sick to even attend a holiday. You're not allowed to come, I'd better not see you there. So he immediately starts getting ready and says, I guess we better get going. So I said, no, we're not going. You're sick, and she just uninvited us. We're doing what she told us, even if she meant the opposite. I'm not playing her manipulation game. So we stayed home, and sure enough, Mill called later furious that we didn't come. A year or so later we moved 2 states away and cut contact. I mean, to be frank here, the fact that your boyfriend didn't absolutely put his foot down with his mother is a pretty clear indication he's not gonna stand up for you as time goes on. Sounds pretty spineless to me, and maybe not actually worth the investment of your time and effort. I know you probably don't want to give the mom the satisfaction of winning here, but if you stay with him it sounds like you'll both be the losers. And this will only get worse if they have kids. Mom has no fucks about being this awful. Okay, haha, funny the first few times, you know that whole awful ritual of testing the girlfriend. Yeah, she won't be stopping this behavior and it'll just get more offensive when she can't use your real name 10 plus years later. Right? OP is damn lucky she can skip out on these losers with only 3 years lost. No legal fees or kids to co-parent. Keep it that way, she's an asshole. He needs to talk to her in depth that he won't tolerate her belittling his partner. If rolling his eyes is how he deals with the problem, you gotta look out for yourself here. I wish you the best. Every time she does it, turn to your boyfriend and talk about how sad it is to watch someone decline into dementia. Most likely the only way for the OP to have topped the no turkey thing. You should call her the wrong name, petty revenge. Hey Janet, can you cook today? Oh, Janet is not here, Margarita. The correct response when someone is disrespecting your partner so hard is to stop seeing them until they decide to show a minimum amount of respect. My first thought was, but it probably would have made things easier/better if you had told your boyfriend before you did this. My second thought was, did you not tell your boyfriend because you thought he would fight you on it and give in to his mom? Because if the answer to the second question is yes, you have some more serious issues to deal with. Either way, just reflect on how much support you're getting in the relationship. If you think he would have supported you if he knew ahead of time, you should have told him, but I think you believe he would not have been supportive. After 3 years, I will choose this hill to die on. If you like the video, hit that subscribe button for more content. I post every day and I'll see you next time with more stories.